And welcome to The One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones. Now, with this year's Strictly Dancers just 5 days away from their first sachets on the dance floor, we are going to be getting into the mood with Jo, and Ori, who apparently has suffered an embarrassing injury, which we are told has nothing to do with dancing.
Very intriguing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, when tonight's first guest realised that Ori and Jo were bringing the glitter, well, there was no way she was going to be upstaged.
Yeah, she's in position. Let's say, come on down to Michelle Keegan. Over.
Really well.
The timing of that on a live show was just unbelievable.
Wow.
That was Elvis then.
I mean, we've never had an entrance like it, to be honest, have we?
No, I don't think we
Quite
have.
something. So we're 3 weeks in to Our Girl on BBC One, the military drama, which is doing incredibly well. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
But you've not been very well, have you?
No, I've been a bit run down. I think when your body stops, because I obviously did Our Girl and then did Tina and Bobby straight away.
Yes.
Right,
and I literally wrapped that 2 weeks ago. And since then, I've been in promotion for Our Girl. And I stopped a week ago and I've been so ill.
Suddenly that's
gone. Yeah, but I'm feeling better now.
It's when you stop, see, isn't it?
It happens to me all the time. My immune system crashes.
Well, thanks for making the effort and coming in to
it's fine.
see
I
us
feel great
tonight.
now,
Much
yeah.
appreciated.
Thank
Now,
you.
somebody else who's not been feeling too well this weekend is Johnny Brownlee, of course, seen here being carried over the finish line by his brother, Alistair, at the final race of the Triathlon World Series. What brotherly love. I mean, what a hero Johnny was
at its best. So today, we are asking what's the best thing you and your brother or sister have ever done for one another. Send us pictures of you and your supportive sibling, and we will show our favourites a bit later on.
Yeah, there is a dark side to this as well, because if you would like to apologise for something that you may have done to your sibling over the years, then this may be a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Usual address.
Like my sister shaved my girl's world. That wasn't a good moment, I'll tell you. It was a plastic doll.
She shaved your girl's world.
We leave that there, shall we?
Now, for thousands of parents and grandparents up and down the country, today's the day that they've been coming to terms with empty bedrooms, empty laundry baskets and sinks without dirty dishes.
Now, if you were on the university toaster and duvet run this weekend, did you manage to keep a stiff upper lip, or did you let it wobble just a bit? Well, Tommy's been to Reading University just for the day.
Wow, look at all this stuff. How many students are moving in here?
4 or 5.
Are there 4 or 5?
I'm coming too.
Are you really?
Wow.
Dad, this is your little baby. Going to university.
Don't start me off.
In the build-up to today, I mean, what happened last night? Your kind of proper last evening together.
I think it hit you and I that suddenly she was leaving today. Well, I wasn't nervous until yesterday, and then I woke up like, I'm going tomorrow.
How are you going to feel when you get back home and she's not there?
Probably not so good. No, definitely not so good.
You're making
No, I won't.
Really? What's going to happen to the bedroom at home? What happens there?
Well, in my opinion, it'd be an office, but I think my wife's got other ideas.
Definitely a shrine.
Really?
Yes. Photographs all over the walls, you know.
You're dropping off your baby to university. Is she okay?
Yeah, I don't know if she's okay, but I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
You're okay with her going to university?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because I didn't have my house to myself. Yeah, I can get a go. I tell you what, waited 19 years for this. I mean, I'm telling you, primary school, secondary school, A-levels. I've been a chauffeur all my life. Now it's over. Very excited.
That's it.
I'm free.
What's in the car?
Everything, I think.
Right.
But,
Has she got a wok?
she's got a walk.
Are you a stir-fry queen?
Not really.
No.
Maybe I've become one, probably, yeah.
They're making you do all the heavy work. Stop right here, right? Is this boy ready to go and live on his own?
I hope so, but we shall see.
Can you cook?
No. Well, it's sort
No.
we're given recipe books and stuff.
He's been spoiled. This will do him good.
Well, clearly he's been spoilt. Mum's pushing the trolley. Where are you from?
Romania.
So this is an incredible journey, incredible moment for you.
Yeah, we came with the car.
How
4 days on the road.
You've driven from Romania. What's it going to be like when she's not at home with you?
I'm gonna cry a lot, but she's gonna have a great life, I hope.
What have you packed? What's essential?
Hair products, makeup.
And she's got vodka.
And she's got vodka.
Her granny bought her a bottle.
Wow. Who's more nervous out of the two of you about you starting university?
I don't know. I think we're both quite chilled. I think
we're okay. We've both agreed there'll be no tears.
And are you doing the journey home on your own?
Yeah.
What's that going to be like?
I'm genuinely happy. I'll be excited for her, but I'll be, you know.
Oh my God, she's gonna cry.
I'm
literally 20 minutes away.
I know.
It's fine.
Please keep.
Oh, come on.
Oh, she was really upset, wasn't she? And we've got Caris, who we saw at the beginning of the film here.
Hi.
That was Friday.
Yes.
So how's it been going, 2 days in?
Good. I've met loads of people at Freshers and at the Freshers events in the evening because it's very, very manic.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's good fun, though, isn't it?
fun.
First
Have you
week?
eaten anything at all yet? I mean, seriously, what did you have for dinner last night?
Toast,
we
I bet.
that
Last night, I actually went round my friend Zoe's and
Hi,
she
Zoe.
cooks me dinner.
Hi.
Oh, what did you
so
cook
that
for
was
dinner?
handy.
We had a Sunday roast.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa!
You're doing
Freshers
all right.
can't be cooking that, but I'm
Right,
second.
yeah.
But
I wonder why
I cook
you're
myself.
offering.
I cook myself pasta because that's easy. All you
Yeah.
have to do is put it in a pan and boil it.
Exactly. Now, we hear that your mum and dad couldn't decide what to do with your bedroom.
Yeah.
So your dad wanted to turn it into an office,
Yeah.
your mum wanted to keep it as a shrine to you, Caris.
She's
which
never
we completely understand.
She's never letting him turn that.
Oh, but it's early yet, though, isn't it? So it's probably too early to tell.
And I have to go back for summers and Christmas. Where am I going to stay if it's an office? I'm not going to sleep in the desk
It's a
chair.
very good point.
You wouldn't think that they would have done anything this soon, would you?
No.
Or would you? Let's have a look here.
Let's just move backwards a little bit into the tunnel. Oh, there's your dad. And, well, straight away, it seems like there is a bit of an office that's been set up by your dad. Look at all of the Caris files there.
no.
He's missing you see. It's all themed.
See, we've got a Caris clock there. So basically, it's half and half. It's an office and a shrine. Dad's getting on with his work as if nothing's ever happened.
And look at this. I mean, this inspirational poster here. Success, look. It's not... And there's Mum, obviously, as well. That's a bit of help from the One Show Props department, we have to admit. Natalie, how has the last 2 days been for you as a mum?
Quite tough. I really, really miss Caris. I've had to put all her mugs to the back of the cupboard because I get sad every time I open the cupboard. I miss dancing around the kitchen with my baby girl and our girly chats. It's quite lonely, really.
Well, I tell you what, Natalie, we will make her call you after the show because students don't ring home for at least a month. So as a special treat, we'll make sure she rings you after this, OK?
But listen, can I just apologise for embarrassing you terribly in front of the nation and all of your new friends? But anyway, hello to everybody watching.
Yeah, and thank you all. Thank you, Mum and Dad, as well. Now, we've got no doubt that Caris here is going to be extremely well behaved. Her parents have got nothing to worry about. But some rules are easier to follow than others.
Yes, public space protection orders allow councils to ban any behaviour that they deem antisocial. And as Dom's been finding out, not everyone's happy about it.
Did you know that carrying golf equipment round in Mickley in North East Derbyshire could get you fined £100? Or that drinking a cup of tea in the wrong part of North Wales could come with a £1,000 penalty? While chalking on Swindon's pavements could earn you a criminal record. Welcome to the world of public space protection orders. A fairly new way that councils are trying to control an ever-expanding list of behaviour that they don't like. Introduced 2 years ago, PSPOs, as they're known, allow councils to ban specific activities in defined areas. Supporters say they're brilliant for clamping down on antisocial behaviour, while critics dub them a busybody's charter. I'm in the village of Bream in the picturesque Forest of Dean, where the tranquility of this ancient rural countryside is being disturbed by an epic battle of man versus sheep. Meh. Since the 12th century, local shepherds have had the right to let their sheep roam freely in the village and 11,000-acre forest.
That's Dolly, that darker. This is Sue here.
Hello, Sue. Jeremy Audrey is one of them, and the council has long thought his sheep are trouble.
Jeremy, how long have you been tending to these sheep?
I've been tending these sheep for about 47 years. The problem is now that the council are kicking up now that they don't want to wander around the villages.
And what's the logic?
The logic is that they're making a mess in the village. But they're saying they can walk through the village, but they mustn't stop. Well, you can't tell a sheep where to stop.
It doesn't actually look like a huge amount of sheep to me.
No, it's not a huge amount of sheep. But the trouble is, people in the village see the same sheep 2 or 3 times. They think they're different sheep, don't they?
Back in 2008, Jeremy was given an ASBO after complaints over mess and noise. But now Councillor Roger James wants to use a PSPO to ban sheep from loitering in Bream Centre altogether.
Do people need protecting from sheep?
It is not the fact that the people need protecting from the sheep, but they do need protecting from the effects of what comes out of the back end of a sheep. This is a photograph of the effects of sheep that leave their droppings behind, and that is outside of a local school.
But another local shepherd, Mick Holder, thinks a ban would have wider consequences.
These sheep are the very creatures that have created the forest as it is today. The complaint, if you like, they say there were sheep bleating in the night last night. Well, they've got the right to be vocal. If they've got the right to be here, they've got the right to make a noise.
God, come live in London, you've got airplanes, sirens, people shouting.
It's an ancient tradition that's now being threatened, and one that could be curtailed by this public open spaces order, could be stopped altogether.
The Bream PSPO is currently only at the public consultation stage, but others are already in force around the country, and they're being misused, say critics like Rosie Brighouse from campaign group Liberty.
We've seen some pretty ridiculous examples of PSPOs, and it's easy to almost find them quite funny because they seem quite absurd. But we've been particularly worried about where PSPOs are being used against homeless people, against begging, and those kind of issues. They're not solved by fining people. So we think that while on the face of it they can seem quite trivial, there's an undertone in the way these orders are being used that has really significant impacts in terms of our rights and freedoms.
Since the power was introduced, over 130 PSPOs have been passed by some 79 local authorities in England and Wales. In Wrexham, the council has banned sleeping during the hours of darkness in some public areas. While in Oxford, the council has cracked down on nuisance busking to the anger of musician Johnny Walker.
How long have you been busking, Johnny?
I've been busking for about 16 years.
PSPOs?
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
I think public space protection orders are a misnomer. They actually take public space, they don't protect anybody, because they actually allow local authorities to criminalise any activity that they claim is having a detrimental impact on the locality. What I have a problem with is redefining whole aspects of human life as antisocial, when actually I would say that busking is a profoundly social activity.
The local government association told us that antisocial behaviour is a serious national issue, and PSPOs are just one of a number of effective weapons used by councils. Back in Bream, the herders find out in October if the PSPO will come into force.
Local powers enabling local people to deal with local annoyances. I mean, what's not to like? The trouble is, your pet hate might be someone else's pet passion. Isn't that right, girls?
I don't understand that, and I don't understand that cup of tea scenario either.
No.
Why would you ban having a cup of tea?
Well, the thing is, there's an order on all stimulants, and tea is a stimulant, isn't it? But only in specific parts. They're not going to cart you off to jail in Wrexham if you drink a cup of tea. In most parts.
No, let's hope
You're
not.
all right.
Let's hope not. Now, you may have noticed that we have a little addition to our sofa. This is Sergeant Victoria Bruce from the Royal Army Medical Corps, and that is because, Michelle, it's time to talk about Our Girl, which you play the lead in. So we're now coming up to the 3rd episode. For anybody that's missed the first 2, or you want to entice them to catch up on iPlayer, what's happening? What's going on?
Basically, it's about a Lance Corporal who's a female medic in the army, and it's her journey. You know, she goes on a 6-week humanitarian mission in Kenya, and along the way, I don't want to say too much in case anyone hasn't seen it yet, but things don't go according to plan, and it's sort of like her story, how to get out of that, and who's involved, and you get lots of, I'm scared of what to say, but yeah, it's like her journey throughout.
Yeah, we'll see a little clip in a minute because we know you've been kidnapped and it's all...
Oh, so I might say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. There we go.
It's all what happens then, the unravelling of that.
Yes.
So you were paired up with Victoria in order to do some research.
Yeah.
What was the first thing then that you wanted to know?
It was just basically, you know, hearing it firsthand, their experiences, and being a female medic in the army. Is it different than being a male? And do the lads treat you different? And like Victoria said, you just become one of the lads, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what we need to talk about, Victoria. So what was Michelle like as a trainee squaddie?
Do you know, I feel really lucky to have got the chance to meet Michelle. You know, she's a proper northern lass and was really keen to learn, which was nice.
OK, so that's away from the training camp. What about actually on the... No.
It was tough, that's why. The first question you asked me was like, ooh, how do you get your hair so tight? And I mean, that is a problem, having your hair up tight, yeah. So from how do you do your bun to how do you hold your gun, which obviously we call it a rifle, and just how do I handle the banter with the lads, you know, when I'm teaching, how, you know, what's my style, and, you know, a bit of the military lingo, how do you... That's
what it is, getting used to the military lingo as well, understanding, you know, the words.
It is interesting, that point, because that you have to face that, your character has to face all of that, very strong-willed men and this, that and the other. So how do you cope, Victoria? What is your kind of mechanism of coping with that banter?
I think you just have to give as good as you get, you know. It's, you know, if someone sort of says something, you just have to dish it back right back at them, whether they be male or female. You just give as good as you get and you hold your own, and I think that earns you the respect of your peers, so...
I think when I did it as well, I was with all lads, and that really helped me, because I walked into, like, you know, a room with 12 lads, and I was the only female on the job. And that really, really helps.
So instantly you were in that environment.
I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but we became such like a family when we were filming out there that we just became best mates. I think that's what you said as well. Being in the army, you just connect with people on that sort of level.
Yeah, it's very realistic to assume that, you know, as a medic, you will be attached to a, you know, normally a platoon of men or a company of men, and you may be the only female. So you know, you really you just get involved and become one of the boys and just get amongst it.
Well, as we were saying, at the end of the last episode, Georgie was rescued from kidnappers, and this week, 2 Section turned their attention to catching the man responsible.
You definitely recognise him?
Intelligence suggests he's from London.
Yes, sir, it's London.
All video surveillance from Kenya and across the Somali border is being scrutinised for white insurgents.
He will be found, it's just a matter of time.
Exactly. Time. We need to get in before he gets us. I'd recognise him, sir. Without a doubt.
Well, another big theme in the series is post-traumatic stress disorder, Victoria. And this, I mean, in the medical corps, must be something that you've come up against, and even personally yourself.
Yeah, certainly as a medic, you do see, you know, soldiers that you work with suffering from symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. But on a personal level, you know, for myself, something that I struggled with was sort of adjusting back into normal life, you know. You're living at 100 miles an hour in a high-octane environment. To come back to normality, you know, which is very slow, is a real difficult transition. And I think that's something that most soldiers go through. And of course, we treat every soldier as an individual, you know, based on their symptoms. But I certainly know for me, it was hard to come back, you know, going back home to my parents, and they want to do so much for me. You know, they want to cook me dinner, and I'm used to being self-sufficient. I'm used to being so independent. And it was hard for me, but it must have been really hard for, you know, my family that I left behind.
To adapt,
you know, so they've, you know, over the past 6 months from any deployment, you know, they've changed and they've had to get used to sort of living without me and worrying. And I think, you know, that period of normalisation is something that, you know, most, if not all, soldiers really struggle with when they come back.
Well, Our Girl continues on Wednesday. It's on at 9 o'clock on BBC One. And if you have missed the first 2 episodes, as we said earlier on, you can catch up on iPlayer. Now, we need to... Well, actually, we haven't said happy birthday.
Well, happy
it's your birthday, isn't it?
Victoria.
Victoria's decided to spend her 28th birthday with us tonight.
Thanks.
Lovely.
Now, we love a birthday on the show,
We
as
do.
you know. And this month, a true British icon, bridging the gap between England and Wales, turned 50.
Is it Alan Jones?
No.
Shirley Bassey?
No.
A constant part of my life in a Welsh band has been the crossing of the 7 bridges between England and South Wales.
I don't know how we'd have coped as a band, for sure, if there wasn't the bridge, because we were travelling all through the night, any hours of the morning, We'd have just been stuck on the banks.
Even up to the mid-1960s, driving between Bristol and South Wales involved a 60-mile track via Gloucester, a track which Tim Ryan from Chepstow knew well.
I remember vividly as a kid being in the back of the car, feeling sick, right? The car overheating, my dad having missed the last ferry and having to drive 2 hours around Gloucester, overheating himself. It was a big feeling of remoteness from this part of the world. And it was like looking abroad.
The alternative route is via the Severn car ferry, and that was fraught with challenges of its own. Ben Brown was skipper, in charge of the turntable which once spun cars into place on this now dilapidated boat, as his son Tony remembers.
We had about, I expect, about 12 ropes. And of course, as the cars come up the ramp, they drive onto that, and the crew would grab hold of the ropes and turn it, which is quite heavy it was, turn it until they pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Then they drive up there, next one would come up, put one in there, and then they'd line them all up. They were like sardines on the boat. Every inch of the deck was covered with cars or people. Every penny counted.
The last of these somewhat eccentric ferries, the Severn Princess, fell into severe disrepair after her working days were over. Thankfully, she is now being restored by a group of enthusiasts outside Chepstow. Vic Rook was deckhand in her heyday on the Severn. What were the journeys like? Say, for instance, when it was quite a choppy day.
Oh, well, the boats weren't made for choppy weather. It give more like a sliding feeling when you're on board. They're like, and people were seasick on there.
And they couldn't even get out of their car.
Couldn't get out of their car. No, if anything happened, they were there. That was them. They were finished. If the boat sunk, they'd go down with the boat.
Each crossing took 15 minutes and carried just 19 cars, but the ferry was also notoriously intermittent because of the huge Severn tides.
Well, it was chaos, really, because there was so much traffic in them days that it was take them 2 hours waiting time to come onto the ferries.
Did anyone lose their tempers?
Oh, goodness sake, yes. Everybody, I think.
One of the most famous passengers, Bob Dylan, had more than the ferry queue on his mind. He still had the booing of a hostile crowd ringing in his ears.
This is the momentous time when he took all the folk revival and threw it all up in the air and plugged in.
Yeah, he played the Coast and Hall the night before in Bristol.
Yeah.
Played the first half acoustic.
Yeah.
Went off for his break, came back on, played electric, and they booed him off stage.
It's that Judas
That's the
moment,
Judas tour, they called it.
Yeah.
And he was on his way the next morning to play in Cardiff.
We're on the very spot where Dylan posed for the iconic image, but the ferry terminal here at Ost has been long abandoned.
It's a remarkable photograph because for Dylan it was pre-electric, post-electric.
Yeah.
And in the picture, even though they're travelling by ferry, you've got the bridge, it's ready built. It was taking a picture of the old world with the new world behind him.
I suspect that is very, very much the case. I don't think Dylan ever did anything without there being a reason for it.
Times were a-changing for both Dylan and the ferry. The opening of the first Severn Bridge on the 8th of September 1966 also marked the final day of the car ferry. Life would have been very different had this bridge not been built, especially as a touring musician from South Wales. Though I must admit the idea of walking in Bob Dylan's footsteps and moving on that ferry is a very alluring one.
It's like a mini London.
Fond memories, yeah.
Not Aled Jones, was it?
No. Right, well, from Bob Dylan's dulcet tones to the music that's going to be ringing in everybody's ears for the next few months. Go on, Steve, put it on. Yes, Ori and Joe have danced their way over the sofa. Wow, it's time to talk Strictly.
Oh,
yes,
that's what that sound does.
Oh, it'll just only get worse as well.
Oh, it does.
Now, we hear that all the celebrities this year have started a WhatsApp group.
We have. Yeah.
So what's the gossip? What's the general feeling going into the last week before the first show?
In truth, it is all incredibly supportive. The first thing I noticed when we got involved in that whole Strictly family is that everybody's got each other's backs. But Will Young likes buying Hoovers. essentially.
I love
He's always out buying Hoovers, apparently. But no, everyone's just really lovely. Tamika Repson leaves us audio messages. She's great.
Why don't you now WhatsApp them now and say you're on the One Show, and then we find out who's watching?
OK, we'll send them a message.
Yeah?
See if they're awake.
You can do it now.
I mean, they're all dancing now, so they're probably all really tired.
Yeah, they're all training, and we're here.
You're not rehearsing this
You're the only
time.
one that aren't you weren't training today. I couldn't believe how relaxed you were when you came in and you went, yeah, I haven't been training today.
Well, you know, you've got to relax sometimes,
You
haven't
do.
you? And then she'll quickly tell me that I've got to get back in training. She's very militant, this one. She's very militant.
When we don't train, I get him to send pictures to me and videos of him training by himself.
Yeah.
Oh, OK, right.
But you guys know it consumes you.
It does. It does.
You go to bed with it, you wake up with it.
You do.
And we're still talking about dancing.
You can relax a bit at the You can relax a bit at the beginning, though, can't you? But Michelle marketed it, of course.
Yeah.
And did really, really well.
He did it surprisingly.
But you know, as his wife, that it is full on, isn't it, as an experience?
Full on. You train every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Every single day. And I remember that from, you know, start of the morning to the end of the evening, he was out training. That was it.
Yeah.
That was his life.
Yeah. And we don't stop training. When we're in, not like today, but when we're in, it's morning till night.
Yeah, it's like he's obsessed by it. We practice from about 10 to 5 every day. And the first day, he didn't even want lunch. And I'm going, are you all right? Do you want a break? Do you want a coffee? No, I want to keep going.
I'm dancing! Don't interrupt me!
You look good, though. Seriously, you do. I mean, Joe, you must be pleased with what you've got to work with here.
I'm very proud. And he's the perfect student. I can see in his eyes that he wants to do it right. He wants to do well. We have fun at the same time, but I can get pretty tough with you, and you just take it.
You do. You do get tough, and I do take it. Those are both true.
What are you finding hardest then? Because I mean, cha-cha-cha threw me. I mean, that was a very basic step, but I couldn't get my head around it.
Well, OK, mini exclusive is that we're kicking off a ballroom. We've got a ballroom dance, and it's important to keep your hold.
Oh, yes.
So right now on this sofa, I'm doing everything wrong because my posture is just terrible.
Sit up,
Pop me up.
Barry.
There we go. That's what she's
Pop him up.
doing. She goes with me everywhere, just popping me up.
Yeah, now this injury, we need to talk about it. We said at the start of the show, it's not dance-related.
Thank goodness.
But what's happened?
OK, so Joe comes and trains with me up in Manchester, where we live. You're welcome to come up as well.
Thank you.
Come back home. We're starting a lovely family here. And she comes up, and we went out for a night out. We went bowling, right? But instead of just bowling, I incorporated some of our dance steps into the bowling routine, and then had a 10-pin bowling ball right into the back of my ankle.
Which I was pleased about, because that day we'd worked on having your feet turned out when we do a bit of Latin.
Yeah.
And so it meant that his foot was turned out and he smacked the ball.
Right.
So
That's
I was
it. It's
pleased.
fine.
Is it all right? It's not too serious.
I'm gonna dance. No, that was a bad moment.
Did you win?
No,
You didn't.
Yeah, I won.
You
It's fine.
did.
But nothing like a bit of rivalry between us. But no, do you know what? Spending time with this wonderful human, this glamorous being here, has been incredible, and we're getting on so well in such a short space of time. And you are spending so much time together. But I get up in the morning and I go, today I'm dancing. Amazing. It's genuinely the most incredible fun.
Well, moving from your partnership onto sibling partnerships, because we have this great call out tonight, all inspired by the Brownlee brothers. You were obviously, you know, watching the triathlon and what happened with the Brownlee brothers. Now, this is James and Henry, the new Brownlees, they think. There they are, look, helping, I think, after a triathlon, but that's the spirit.
Joe, have you got a picture there you'd like to show?
Yeah.
This is Barbara and her twin sister Anna, both completing the pink ribbon walk while Anna was being treated for breast cancer.
Nice. Very good. Go on,
I've got this one. This is Chris and brother John, who donated his kidney to Chris last year, which is true brotherly love.
Yeah.
Talk about sharing. Yeah.
Michelle?
This is George, whose brother is in the picture here, and he's going to uni next week, so good luck.
Is that a thank you for going to uni?
Yeah.
And these are twins. Look how cute they are. Annie and Erin supporting each other through their first day at school.
There we are.
So nice.
What a show it's been. We're done.
It looks like your lift's here, Michelle.
Is that Elvis again?
Sounds like it, yeah.
It must mean the show's over. Our Girl continues Wednesday at 9 o'clock on BBC One.
And you can see Ori and Joe on the Strictly Dance floor this weekend, everybody. That's Friday at 9 o'clock and then Saturday at 6:30 on BBC One.
And we'll be back tomorrow with Paralympians Ellie Simmons, Johnny Peacock, Ali Joad and Joe Brand. Not that she's a Paralympian, obviously. See you then.
Good night,
Bye.
Bye-bye.